Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a complete step-by-step roadmap for mastering Python. And the best part? It's built entirely on the hindsight of over 10 years of expert coding experience. If you've been spinning your wheels, constantly hopping from tutorial to tutorial, or if you just want the absolute most direct path to actually becoming a hireable developer, you are exactly in the right place. We are going to look at how to get good and get good fast.
We've got a packed roadmap for today. We'll cover the biggest mistake beginners make, building your foundation, picking a single direction, harnessing the power of projects, uncovering those pro skills, and we'll wrap up with a quick reality check.
All right, let's jump right into part one, the biggest mistake and how to avoid the beginner's trap.
Okay, before we talk about what you absolutely must do to succeed, we literally have to talk about what you need to avoid. This massive pitfall costs most learners months of completely wasted time. When our source developer first started out, they tried to learn web development, game development, and data science, all at the exact same time. You know how it goes. You start a Flask project, get halfway through, randomly bounce over to Pygame, and then pivot to web scraping. The result? They admitted they were a mile wide and just an inch deep. Because nothing ever got finished, none of the knowledge actually stuck. After months of studying, they couldn't confidently build a single complete project in any domain. It's a painful but crucial lesson. Generalization early on is absolutely the enemy of progress.
Moving right along to Section 2, Building the Foundation, Steps 1 to 3.
So to avoid that beginner's trap, you've got to lay down some non-negotiable groundwork. You simply cannot touch advanced Python frameworks until you've locked these specific steps in. Step 1 is mastering your core syntax. You want to spend your first 2 to 4 weeks focusing heavily on variables, loops, and data structures. Next up, you hit Step 2, Object-Oriented Programming, or OOP. Now pay close attention here because a lot of self-taught developers actually skip this part. But listen, without understanding classes, objects, and dunder methods, you're going to hit a skill ceiling extremely fast. OOP is what actually lets you understand how Python operates on a fundamental level. And finally, Step 3 is Modules and Environments. This is where you learn how to organize your code across multiple files, manage virtual environments, and handle your package dependencies like a pro.
Now you might be wondering, how do you know when you've actually completed this foundation stage? Well, your specific target is writing a 100 to 200 line program totally from scratch. Think of building a simple choose-your-own-adventure game, or maybe a basic terminal app. Look, you don't need to have the entire Python documentation memorized, but you shouldn't be constantly looking up syntax for a basic while loop every 30 seconds either. Once you can build something like this comfortably, you are officially ready for the main event.
Which brings us to Section 3. Pick one direction, the crucial step 4.
Guys, this is the absolute climax of the blueprint. If you only take away one single thing from this entire explainer, let it be this exact mindset shift. There's a path of failure, and that is generalization. Bouncing from Django to Pandas to Pygame just ensures you never finish anything and remain fundamentally unhireable. But then there's your actual goal, specialization. We're talking about committing 3 to 6 straight months to one single area and building full end-to-end applications. Specialization is what actually builds real-world employable skills.
You really must pick just one specific lane. For example, you have web development using tools like Django or FastAPI. You've got data science leaning into Pandas or PyTorch, or maybe automation and scripting, handling files, APIs, and web scraping. You must pick just one of these paths. If you pick data science, for instance, you need to do 5 or 6 complete end-to-end analyses on real datasets. Repeating the process on real problems in a single niche is for sure the only proven way to build that deep, interview-ready expertise.
Let's dive into Section 4, the power of projects. Step 5, practice.
Okay, so you have your niche, but how do you actually escape tutorial purgatory? Your guiding star here is brilliantly simple. Build slightly above your current skill level. The critical learning loop looks exactly like this. You follow a tutorial to learn a new concept, but then, and this is the magic part, you immediately attempt to build something similar on your own without watching the video. When you build something just beyond what you know, you run into bugs. You're forced to use critical thinking, look up syntax, and read documentation. Trust me, a single, completed, challenging project built on your own will teach you endlessly more than 5 half-finished tutorial follow-alongs.
Section 5, Pro Skills. Step 6, the secret sauce. These are the unglamorous, behind-the-scenes skills that rarely get the spotlight in standard beginner courses, but they are exactly what separates weekend hobbyists from actual professional developers. First up, reading open-source code on GitHub. Seeing how experienced devs structure their code is a massive level up.
Second, stop relying entirely on print statements and learn to use a real debugger. It will literally save you hours of sheer frustration. Third, write tests. Tools like PyTest take maybe 30 minutes to learn but save you massive headaches down the road. Fourth, learn Git properly. And I don't just mean basic commits. I mean handling merge conflicts and checking history. Finally, get comfortable with the terminal. Navigating directories and executing files via the command line makes you exponentially more fluid on your machine.
And finally, Section 6, the reality check, the path to employability.
So we've laid out the blueprint for success, but now we really need to ground this in reality regarding the time, dedication, and patience it actually takes to get there. 20,000. The expert source we are analyzing today has spent nearly 20,000 hours writing code over 10 years, and you know what? They state they still don't consider themselves an absolute expert in any programming language. It's a humbling, massive number that proves true mastery takes real time. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme, it's a marathon.
Here is the core truth of it all. Python is incredibly easy to start, but it is distinctly hard to get truly good at. Yes, it's highly in demand. Yes, it constantly tops language rankings, especially with the huge boom in AI and data science. But becoming proficient enough to land those top-tier jobs, that requires months of deep, focused effort. Just getting the fundamentals down takes serious weeks of work before you even touch a larger project.
So, I'll leave you with this provocative question today. Which direction will you choose? It's time to completely abandon that mile-wide approach. Pick your single niche and take your very first focused step today. When you finally decide to go deep rather than wide, that is exactly